All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see for these two Google searches, one local and one city level. If either or both of them have BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers, make them the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. Look at the pinned post, pinned video, home video, whatever, where we talk more about that. We focus on FSIC because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our intent spectrum here, way on the left highest intent, way on the right lowest intent. So if a boudoir photography business is rising, they're most likely bringing in everyone from this entire intent spectrum, from highest to lowest intent. And if we got a boudoir photography business that is falling, most likely we are missing chunks of people somewhere here on this intent spectrum. So here we focus on BSS, way on the left, the highest intent peeps. This is social search, Google search, searching for boudoir photo shoot in my in your city. And way over on the right, that's our sister brand. Got different profiles for that. Boudoir FB ad doctor. That's where we're talking about BLC asking in front of the lowest intent people in our city, which are actually the largest volume of peeps. And right now we're currently only working with boudoir photographers spending more than $10,000 a month on boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. This one, a boudoir photographer has 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, 0 slots. I mean, we're down to fast death here, because we know that approximately 80% of boudoir or of Google searches never go to page 2. They are page 1 only searches. So literally, it's approximately 80% of searches. That's obviously the bulk of the market. So the bulk of the market never even sees page 2. So yeah, not good to be there. 1 slot on page 1 is also not good enough. Because if there's 10 organic slots. If there's 9 other boudoir photographers, everyone's got a slot. That means a buyer's just clicking everyone's link, contacting everyone. It could be, 9 other competitors price shopping us, price comparing us. So 1 slot, and we don't even look any different than anyone else. So 1 slot is simply not enough. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 in Google is actually not normal. Extremely common, accepted, but actually not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. So to have so few page 1 slots on Google is not normal. And the 2 deeper root causes causing this are A, market saturation, and B, the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, yeah, everyone knows that. Over time there's more and more boudoir photographers entering the market. It's because whenever anyone gets a new iPhone, they throw up their Google My Business profile, throw up a website. Now they compete in page 1 organic search with us with their website, saying that they do boudoir photo shoots. Also, if anyone gets a camera, now they're posting in the mom Facebook group saying they do boudoir photo shoots. Lowering prices, lower margins from everyone, and actually making it harder for all the sellers. So there's more sellers to the same number of buyers, makes it harder for all the sellers. And B, the false belief of page 1 equality. Dude, this is the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is, to believe page 1 equality is to believe, yeah, every boudoir photographer gets like 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and if you had 1 slot on page 1, then a new boudoir photographer came in, now they're on page 1, you got bumped down on page 2. It's kind of like, oh, that's how it is. That's how it is. And nobody's taking any effort to correct it. It's not normal to be kicked off of, to stay on page 2 and have 0 slots on page 1. It's not normal to have even 1 slot on page 1. It's been accepted that everyone gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's simply how it is. Incorrect. And I know it's incorrect because I went from 0 out of 1 slot, 0 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 for my desired keyword in 10 days. We'll see pictures of that in a few pics. So people accepting the false belief of page 1 equality, well, they accept that it's true. #1 killer boudoir photography businesses from what I've seen. And we also know that a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we're building up our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1 equality, the false belief of page 1 equality, thinking that there's nothing we can do. It's kind of like we believed it was true, we auto-accepted it, we didn't even question it, so we're kind of like mentally in a box, so we couldn't even punch through the box to see, oh, there is a solution out there. And thankfully, we have that solution. We have it because we invented it. We know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. It is exactly what it says. We're saturating social search with the highest buyer intent keywords for people who want to buy a boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And when we saturate social search with those keywords, what actually happens is there's kind of like the small little streams on the backside of the Andes Mountains that then flows into the large Amazon River, which is page one on Google. So if we successfully saturate social search, then it is, and if we keep saturating it, it's inevitable we'll eventually take as many slots on page Google as we want, depending on how much effort we want to put in. Now, what is amazing about S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight back against market saturation with relatively quick results. Obviously, the one thing, as always, is brand. I can fight back against market saturation, but dude, that takes 5 years, 10 years. We ain't got that time anymore. AI's coming taking people's jobs. We literally do not have the time. We need something that gets faster results. Faster results. Give me the faster results. We ain't got time to build a brand. But also, S-cubed methodology helps us to build a brand faster and quicker than anyone else, any other method available elsewhere. So it's kind of a a double bonus using S-cubed methodology. So here's how it fights back market saturation. Let's say we're in Seattle, Washington. There's a million boudoir photographers. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir. They're a boudoir photographer. Everyone's competing to rank page one on Google. So we crank up S-cubed methodology to the maximum. And what we actually do is we rank for the highest intent keywords across social search, for the first 300 slots. And so if people search those keywords, for boudoir photo shoot in Seattle on social, the first 300 slots are taken up by us. And as a result, let's say that flows onto Google as well, and it dominates. We're taking the first 300 slots on Google as well. And so anytime anyone in our city searches on social or Google, dude, literally the first 30 pages on Google, at least, they can only find us because it's basically like 10 organic slots per page, and literally 30 pages full of us. And it's our competitors literally got to go to page 31 to even find us in the first place. And dude, we already know 80% of searchers don't even go to page two. They're page one only, so they ain't going to page 31. And so we're essentially the only one that boudoir photo shoot buyers can find, which means whose business is growing? Our business is growing because we're dominating search everywhere for the highest intent keywords. People searching for boudoir photo shoots now in Seattle now. We're closest to the money now, and we're growing. Everyone else is disappearing. They're shrinking. And again, that's the only thing that I've seen that successfully can outcompete market saturation in the short term and in the long term, because it actually turns into brand in the long term anyways. So this is some magic stuff we got here. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. And a bonus of this is we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Because again, approximately 80% of Google searches never even make it to page two. They're page one search only. So more people we kick off, more buyers never even see them, the fewer boudoir photographers we've been price shopped against. Awesome. That's kind of an extra initial benefit from utilizing S-cubed methodology. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And our GBC recommended level is to hit a minimum of 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google, because that means we're kicking out 2 or 3 boudoir photographers from page one we can be price shopped or compared against, that are 80% of buyers ain't ever going to see them anyway, because they ain't never going to hit page two. And so if we got 3 slots on page one, we're looking way better than all those that have 1 slot, which is basically going to be everyone else. Going to look way more trustworthy. Kind of subconsciously, buyers going to think, "Wow, why is Google recommending this person 3 times? We better check them out, and maybe not even check out the other people on page one." And then 3 slots better than 2 slots, because yeah, there's a small chance another competitor may have 2 slots on page one. But if we successfully outcompete them, dude, guess what? I mean, if we got 3 slots, we're looking better than them anyways. So we're looking better than all competitors with 0 slots or 1 slot or 2 slots. We're looking way better than that. That's boudoir search visibility. We also know that boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, BSV, is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation, the dual horns, market saturation, and page one, the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. Thankfully, we now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility, and we become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, my results here using S-cubed methodology for myself, because yes, I invented it. I wanted to rank for the keyword BLCS boudoir. Okay, I used it over 10 days. My results got slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. No website necessary. And so I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search in 10 days, purely by using S-cubed methodology. All right, so now we're going to look at the main event here. Going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search, Vildemar, California, and its city search, Temecula, California. All right, let's check this out. All right, so first search in Vildemar. So here we go. All right, we got 1. Boom, we got 2. Boom, we got 3. Boom, we got 4. Boom, we got 5. All right, we got 6. 7. Sponsor, that doesn't count. That doesn't count for our 10, so awesome. 7 out of 10. This is what we got. This is what we need. How many competitors did they kick off? Up to 6. They ain't being price shopped against no one, or very, very few. They ain't being price shopped against 9, because we already know approximately 80% of Google searches ain't never going to page 2. So 7 out of 10, fantastic. Now we'll look at our city. Closest one there's some Lake Elsinore or something, but I chose Temecula to do the city search, bigger city. So let's see. Let's see how we're ranking here, pulling in people from Temecula. All right. All right, we got 0 in Temecula. So it looks like we're actually we're missing pulling people in from Temecula. So we do got BSS. So we don't have BSS for the local search. That's good. And we also hit the GBC minimum 3 out of 10 for local search. Perfect. But we definitely do have BSS for the city search. We're at 0 out of 10 slots there. And we definitely did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots for the city search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've actually done your local searches, done your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you're seeing you had either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google search for any of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots for any of those searches, and you've accepted the fact that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and you actually see an S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, and you've actually been waiting for something like this. You're loving the initial benefits, more slots page 1 on Google. You're especially loving kicking competitors off page 1 on Google, reducing them, page 2 or deeper, where we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. So make them invisible to essentially approximately 80% of the marketplace. And you're looking ahead, and you're saying, man, AI is taking a lot of people's jobs right now. It's going to take even more and more people's jobs in the future. Last time that happened, COVID, a ton of boudoir photographers entered the marketplace because everyone's got a super powered smartphone, got an awesome camera, and everyone still needs to earn money. So guess what? You already are anticipating a massive market saturation, already more than, kind of standard people upgrading their gear. So way more on top of that. And you realize, man, you actually got to fortify your position on page 1 Google search. You need to have actually so many links that Google could rank page 1 in Google search that it runs out of slots. And then you start filling up page 2, 3, 4. Basically fortify your position so much that no current boudoir photographer can ever rank on page 1 again, nor could any future boudoir photographer that comes in because AI took their job ever has the chance to rank again. And so you're saying, man, how to get all those links kind of circulating, and you're saying, again, S-cubed methodology is the only methodology that enables that. You're also liking that kind of the way this technology works is we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our brand, basically plug into our brand for the different keywords we're um, utilizing and ranking for, that every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we're actually increasing the probability to be shown up here way at the top, AI overview. The most premium placement is an organic placement. We can now buy this, cannot pay for this with ads. So increasing the probability of being here every day, the most premium placement on the page. There's some people that will just come here, click, and buy from this person. We're also increasing the probability every single day that AI, search apps recommend us as well. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we're increasing probably these guys recommend us for their, well, basically in their search. And last time I searched for boudoir photographer in a city, I actually ChatGPT, I did with ChatGPT, it recommended me 3 peeps. And then went and looked manually, Google search, manual Facebook search. And dude, there's like 60 boudoir photographers in the city. So I'm like, man, we got to find a way to get one of these 3, AI recommended slots in the AI search apps ASAP. And you're seeing SQ methodology is the only solution that can give you that benefit as well. And you're seeing that the kind of showing up on all these surfaces over time, social search, Google search, and these invisible thematic keywords attached to us. We're actually building our brand at an estimated 8x rate, kind of fast tracking us getting a large, well-known brand in our city, so that market saturation affects us way less. You also understand my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, so you can actually get all these benefits, build all this AI mindshare momentum in the back end keywords, these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to your brand, kind of your social handles, your name, your website name, and prevent your competitors from participating, getting any of these benefits at all. So build up basically like a massive gap that approximately no competitor currently or in the future will ever be able to overcome. So you decide to be a first mover advantage and hop on this first because you understand the converse, which is one of your boudoir photographer competitors in your city signing on with me first. They get all these benefits, more slots page 1 on Google, kicking people like you off page 1 of Google off to page 2, 3, 4, or even deeper, fortifying their position. So basically none of their competitors, including you, basically ever have a chance to rank page 1 on Google. Building up such a massive backend AI keyword mindshare so that the no competitors, including you, basically have ever a chance to catch up with them, being recommended for AI overview and recommended in AI search, and building up their brand so much faster, approximately 8x faster than any other strategy. And you're realizing to compete in that scenario, you would actually have to rederive SQ methodology for yourself on your own. You would never actually be 100% confident you successfully derived it. And then you'd have to go and successfully equal our daily execution of that methodology. And if you did all that, you would simply be maintaining the current gap me and your competitor have already achieved ahead of you. So to make inroads, kind of make some distance on that gap, close that gap, you'd actually have to double or triple our output every single day. And then if you did that, you actually wouldn't even be confident to put in that much time because again, you would never be 100% confident you've derived the methodology correctly in the first place. And then even if you did, who's got 80 hours to do all that? So you realize on all that, and you're like, screw that. You decide to be the first mover, sign on first, get this out of the way, make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patients, but when the hospital does open for new patients, shoot us a DM, and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.